Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage. And I have two things tonight I want to talk about. So I guess this one's going to be a garage gun talk because I need your help on something, and I also want to thank you all for your help on something. So let's talk about the thing I need your help on. And I like to consider myself to be relatively knowledgeable, but I don't know everything. And sometimes when I'm reviewing guns and I'm doing my research on a particular gun that I'll be taking to the range or talking about, I might have an issue when I kind of like prepare the gun, think about how I'm going to lay out the video, what I really want to test, and so forth. I have a pistol that I need to review, and I'm not really 100% sure if I have everything. Now, the owner of this pistol doesn't think that this pistol requires a spring change, and I think it might, okay, and I'll explain why. I'm going to be reviewing the HK P7K3. So this is the non-gas piston delayed version of the P7 that is or could be chambered in 380, 32 ACP, or 22 long rifle. The most common variant is the 380. Now, I do have the pistol set up in 380 right now. And so this comes apart just like a standard P7. So I can pull the slide back and push the button on the receiver, and the slide simply comes off. So here's our slide. Here is our receiver with the barrel inside of the frame. And here is the recoil spring. And as you can see, the slide doesn't have that little piston underneath, if you're familiar with the way these guns are set up. Now, as I said, you can have this gun in multiple calibers, and that's really what makes this gun not only desirable because it is an HKP7, but if you have the caliber conversions, it just makes the price go way up. And my friend Jack, who lent this to the channel, has one of those caliber conversions. He thought he had the one in 32, but I guess he was mistaken. I was hoping to get all three calibers in one video, but he did have the complete one in 22. And so when you open this conversion up, you get a slide, and obviously the slide has to have different dimensions and probably is, I guess, weighted differently for the different calibers. You get some magazines. So this is going to be a 22 caliber magazine. You get two of them. You get the barrel you have to replace, and you get a, I guess it's a barrel removal tool or wrench that we'll call this. And there's another tool in here that looks like this. And as far as I can tell, this is to extract the barrel, I believe. But I have changed the barrel out in this just to make sure I knew what I was doing. And so let me show you how to do that. The barrel here has a little, I guess we'll say like a little castle nut right here on it. And you can take the barrel removal tool and you put the spanner wrench on it. I guess this is technically a spanner wrench. And you can get into like one of the grooves, and then you can loosen it up. And of course you want to be gentle with this, take your time. And then you can remove the castle nut, and then the barrel, I should probably drop the magazine on this, can come out through the rear. I think this one they gotta rotate a little bit. Let me see here, maybe. I already had this out one time. Let's see here. There it goes. All right, so there is the 380 barrel, and there is the frame. So now all we're supposed to do is to put in the 22 caliber barrel, slide this in, and it does, okay, this is the one that does rotate. Okay, so make sure it's in there correct, and we'll put our castle nut back over it, and we can hand tighten it first, and then we'll take our spanner wrench and we'll tighten up that castle nut. So now the barrel is in there. And I guess because this kit does not come with a spring, you're supposed to use the original spring. Now here's the problem. I went online and I was looking up, okay, do you have different springs for this? Because I was thinking, okay, so this spring is set for 380, which is a substantially more powerful caliber than 22. And this is a pretty stout little spring, okay? And I've, used 22 semi-automatic pistols in the past, and you know how easy those slides are to manipulate. Well, that's a pretty stout spring. Now, a spring did not come in the conversion kit. I went online, I found other conversion kits that were either for sale or pictures of them. None of them have springs that go with them, as far as I can tell. I went to a bunch of sites that sell parts for this gun and sell springs in general for guns. There is only one spring that is for sale anywhere for an HK P7K3. It's this spring right here. So I'm assuming it's got to use the same spring. Not 100% sure though, but when I put this spring on there, it does seem to fit correctly. And so I'll put the 22 slide on this gun. And let's see here. I've got to get everything all lined up perfectly. And okay, so there it is. Okay, so now it's technically been converted to 22 long rifle. And we have the magazine. It goes in like it's supposed to. Okay, so the slide locks open. But now, here's the issue. When I try to manipulate this slide, that's a lot of energy required to cycle that slide. There is no way on earth. Now, I'm going to try it out. But there is no way on earth that I think a 22 caliber is going to be able to cycle that. I mean, I'm going to, if I do the squeeze cocker to take the pressure off of the striker, man, I just don't think so. I've fired enough 22 caliber handguns that is just not going to cycle. There is absolutely no way. So I need your help. Is there supposed to be a 22 caliber spring with this conversion kit? And if there is, where could I get one? As I said, I have scoured the internet. I've looked all the typical places where you would look up rare and hard to find gun parts. I cannot find it anywhere. And the people that do sell parts of this sell one spring. But I cannot imagine that one spring will work on 38, 32, and 22 long rifle. There's absolutely no way. There's no way CCI mini mags are going to cycle that slide. There is no way. So I need your help. Before I take this to the range, I need to get all the information on this. And I have Googled forums. I've looked at everywhere. And nobody talks about the conversion kits having a different spring. But logic is telling me that is not going to cycle with a 22. And if it does, then I don't know. I mean, that's pretty stout. Okay? So you need to let me know in the comment section if you have the information on that. So I may have to just review this as a 380. That might be my only option when it comes to this gun. But I need your help if you could tell me. Okay? So that is what I know, what I don't know, and what I think I know. So, as I said, help me out. Tell me what I'm missing, if I'm missing anything. And let me go ahead and convert this back to 380. And then I'll talk about the other thing I wanted to show you and then also install tonight, because you guys really did help me out with something. So let's get this barrel out of here. There's that. And we can put this back in here. Where's that go in the box? Right there. Okay. And then the tool, well, I'll save the tool for a second because I got to put this back on. So let's put the 380 barrel back in. All right. And I guess I'll make sure it's, I mean, you don't want to over tighten it, but just make sure it's in there nice and snug. Put the recoil spring in, and then make sure, yeah, this is the 380 slide. All right, and then of course, the magazine, there it is. And there it is. So that is what I know, what I don't know, as I said. So please help me out, because I've been around guns long enough to know this spring is way too stout for 22 long rifle. I know it. And if it cycles, there's some type of magical voodoo that's going on with this gun to allow 22 to cycle that. But please tell me and help me out, because I don't have the answer on this one, and I can't figure out the information. All right. So there is topic number 1. All right. Topic number 2. I want to thank you guys about helping me get something. You guys know I have a couple of Mk12s. I have a Mod 0 and a Mod 1. And sometimes getting clone correct parts can be a little bit tough, because not all of the companies that manufactured them during the time that these rifles were in production or the U.S. Army was making them are still around or still make them. And one of the parts I needed was from a company called Arms Inc. In fact, they make the scope rings, and they have different models depending if it's a Mod 1 or a Mod 0. And these aren't technically correct, because the early generations didn't have a lever stop. These have a lever stop. Some people that's going to be a big deal. Some people it's not. But my Mod 0 isn't 100% clone correct, because it's made, the upper receiver and lower receiver are Precision Reflex International parts, not Colt or anything like that. But all the other stuff is correct. But anyway, one of the things I needed when it came to these scope rings was the tactical rail mount, which I guess replaces this front one, and the rail itself. And these things are like hen's teeth, defined. And I got a set for the Mod 1, but I couldn't find any for the Mod 0, and they're out of stock everywhere. They don't make a lot of them. And I think I put the call out to you guys, say, hey, if you guys ever see these, let me know and help me out. And I guess they all came in stock. I guess there was a run of them that were made, and like 3 or 4 people all emailed me or messaged me going, hey, they're in stock, you need to pick some up. So that is what I was able to do. I got these from I think I got this one from one of these from Bauer Precision. And let me tell you, whenever these come into stock, there are companies out there that price gouge. So each one of these from Arms Inc. is like $50 if you can get it from their website. And most retailers will sell them for $50, okay, if you find them. But there are some retailers out there that deal with just clone stuff. There were people asking $200 a piece for these. So $400, no, I'm not paying that. In fact, when they were starting to kind of come back on the market, I was like, I'm not paying that. I'll just go with the standard ring. I'm not going to overpay. But I paid MSRP on these things, and I want to thank you guys, those people that helped me out. So I thought we would install these tonight and see how it looks. And I know when I install these, I'm always going to get people say, you're doing it wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You're supposed to lap those, or you're supposed to have a torque. I don't care. It's my rifle. I don't care. I'm going to get it as close to what I want it to be. So here is the ring and cap right here. You can see where it says Arms or Arms Inc. And then here is the rail that goes on top of it. So it looks like we have an Allen wrench here. So let's go ahead and take the original one off. I got to remember to save these parts. So anyway, thank you for helping me out. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can talk about. You guys used to do a good job of telling me, hey, you need to make a video about this, or asking me a question. You guys haven't done that in a while. So if you guys can come up with anything, let me know, because I like to do on this channel viewer-requested videos, if I can. I always can't. It always depends. If somebody says, hey, will you do a review on this? Well, you got to wait for that to be on the main channel, or I have to wait till I have the opportunity to actually review that gun or whatever. But if you have anything like, I mean, on this channel we can talk politics, we can talk gun news, new stuff that's out there, current events, and so forth. Where I'm going to try to always avoid that on the main channel because I don't want it to become too topical. The few videos that I have on the main channel that are topical, I still get a lot of comments and like hate on, like the old Matt Hoover thing. In fact, I got like a really mean comment recently. Someone telling me how wrong I am and how Matt Hoover is some hero and this and that. I'm like, listen, he shouldn't have been convicted for what he was convicted for, but he played a dangerous game. It's like someone that juggles chainsaws. He effed around with the ATF and he found out. That's it. We all know that the ATF is not going to follow the rules. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to bend the rules for their own needs. So why risk why risk everything for a little what people were saying was a piece of art engraved on a thing? That's pretty stupid. I think most people that have common sense that said, hey, if you're going to put an outline of an AR-15 drop-in autoseer on a little piece of metal and then sell it, they're going to have problems with it. Even if they start off in the beginning and go, oh yeah, it's totally fine. Remember, the police are allowed to lie to you. You're not allowed to lie to the police. And that's why you should never talk to the police, because they can come up to your house and be like, hey, we're doing this investigation on this guy down the street. What do you know? Do you mind if we come in and talk to you about it? They're not there to investigate the guy. They're there to investigate you. So you can always just politely and respectfully say, I'm not talking to you. So he played a dangerous game and he lost is what happened there. I mean, do I feel sorry for him? Yeah, I feel sorry for him. As I said, I don't think he should have been convicted for what he was convicted of. I think we can all agree on that. However, we all know that he played a dangerous game, like I was talking about when it came to like juggling chainsaws. If somebody juggles chainsaws, they understand the risks. And one day, if a chainsaw falls on them while they're juggling it, you're not going to sit there and go, wow, that was so unexpected. The only reason people watch that is because that's a possibility. It's going to happen. And I also feel like many people in the gun community were egging him on. There's a lot of people, this is one of the things about the gun community I don't like, is there's a lot of people that are big talkers, okay? You guys probably remember me griping about all the people online that say stuff like shall not be infringed, the ATF can't create law, and they'll talk big like if they ever come to my house they're gonna get all the bullets first, all that kind of big talk. But we all know if that day ever came, they're not going to do that, okay? And a lot of big talkers, and what they want to do is to have other people fight their battles for them. That's what they really want. So they were egging him on, hoping something was going to happen. Because they're like, I'm not going to risk my life. I'm not going to risk my family. I'm not going to risk everything I own for this. But if he's willing to do it, hell yeah. All right, I'm just making sure that ring is on there like it's supposed to be. Looks like it's pretty even. That's the thing about these scope rings. You don't want to over tighten them because you don't want to crush the tube, but you also want to make sure that they're on there even, where one side isn't more compressed than the other. And I think we're good. All right, so we're gonna tighten that one down. And you don't have to tighten them too much. Just kind of finger tight and barely even that. Because with the 4 screws, it's all you need, and you don't want to compress the tube. So there you go. So I think that's going to be on there relatively even. Looking at it from this way, maybe. And I am a perfectionist. Yeah, I guess we're about as close as we're going to get. All right, so now let's put on the rail, which will go up here on top. And this is to mount a red dot, if you wanted to mount a red dot. And that will clear the scope. So that's what it's going to look like right there. So let's open this up. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, there's a bunch of people out there that they want other people to fight the fights for them because they don't want to be the ones that go down for it. You know, so I actually feel that Matt Hoover is a victim, but he's actually a victim partially of the gun community, if that makes any sense. You know, because there's a lot of people out there that egg others on. You know, they're not going to be the ones that are going to take the risks. They're not going to be the ones that want to be the example. You know, they're going to be the ones that are egging on people. Yeah, you need to do that. You need to do that because, and then if that person gets in trouble or whatever, nothing happens to those people, right? That we're egging them on. All right, let me get a screwdriver here, and I need a regular one. There we go. I think now this was the last real part I needed for my Mod 0. There's things I could change on it that would make it a little bit more clone correct, but in general, I think it was the last part. And so this thing has been incomplete for quite some time. I mean, it was functional, but it was incomplete. And now, because of your help, it's complete. So there you go. So thank you, everybody, for helping me out. And thank you for any information any of you guys can give me on the HK P7 K3 and the recoil springs for the various calibers. Some of you guys I know have got to be P7 fans. You have to be, or own this gun, and maybe own a caliber conversion. You have to tell me, or can tell me where I can get that information, because I can't find it. So anyway, thanks for joining me here in the garage. And if you watch to the end of this boring video, the word of the day is going to be ring. Ring, because I was able to get the tactical scope ring with the rail from Arms Inc. to complete this particular clone rifle build. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And thank you as always for joining me here in the garage. And as always, thanks for watching.